Big
Unless-
person?
82.
I don't know.
Unless
I'm never
Frank,
getting
unless
it.
Frank hasn't told me something differently, but that's the last verdict.
Meeting, I didn't see it. And then
They were going in there, but there's some.
Dogs having.
That's
Our dog is-
East Wayne, that's across the street, that used to be
That's-
Center.
That's what I was
It
trying
was gonna
So
be
that was one,
breakaway bar
and
and
so-
grill, and they
Yeah.
changed the name.
and he
of it.
to.
changed,
Just an out by
name.
default.
She did.
Done.
Yeah.
so that's one that's opening. She said.
K 13 has been rented.
What's that gonna be?
Gals from Ovid, she's moved her business, she's getting out of Ovid and she's moving over here.
What
So
is
that
it?
one be, she had a.
Does it have any of your
business.
stuff on there in there?
She had. a
No,
stamping
only the,
business.
only the budget Okay, okay.
But I don't
The-
know if
but
that's gonna be
my
this, I don't know if that's gonna be the same over there or not.
Pages aren't there? They're not there, no, okay. The main.
Wow. What?
It's not gonna be-
Want a grill.
Why do you want a girl?
We're livening it up, right? Aren't you happy?
There's my wife.
Well, the eye doctor.
Yeah. She did a video. She wants,
You.
she wants
I
to
think
be,
I've seen that.
you know what, in St. John's?
I think so. I don't remember.
Well, Marsha Brandon wants to retire soon, so.
Aye.
that's-
There you go, Bud Nick.
No, we
He
don't want
wants
it.
it,
We don't want it.
why not?
Good.
He loves you.
She
I'll
like,
be her client.
yeah, she would have a lot of clients here, but
Oh,
Plus-
there's good people
the
here.
flexibility of her job right now. is just unreal. She's been there so long. You know, new things. She's comfortable. She doesn't want to. Yeah, it's not-
Like, ma'am,
She's getting to that age where
You're live, so you can go ahead.
everything needs to.
And I'll give you guys the other.
Someone yelling
let's get this party
Yeah.
started.
wants to invest.
Well, there was,
6:01.
he said he said, Marsha Brandon said there was a guy that was trying to get it.
Okay, we're
And they
starting.
didn't keep up with it.
Yeah. I heard that.
All right, we'll call the meeting order at 6:01. And the roll call, I might need a little help with who is still on but not present, only because they've changed a couple things and I don't know effective date. So Brink is absent because he's still on, right?
Yes,
Sorry.
Richard Dyer is absent.
Anyone else that's still legit that isn't here?
And, Jeff.
Oh, he's good.
Yes,
He's playing.
I think that's it.
Moving on to approval of our last meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes.
Second.
All right. Motion to approve and support. Any comment? Right, motion passed. Oh, we skipped over public comment. Sorry. Was
Okay.
there any?
Yes, I wanted to bring up something. I brought it up a while ago. But it was something to do with looking into for a dog park. And they told me that they had to get some bills paid before that happens. But I'm really trying to push that initiative to get it done as something.
When you were here before, I think they talked about, like, you talked about not, or maybe everyone talked about not knowing exactly where that might be.
Yeah, I
or
knew
the-
we had different
Mhm.
places that they had around.
I haven't heard anything about
And
that.
I just want something to see where we are. And they said they owe some money to pay some bills, but that should be paid after a year. But I know it's been over a year now, and I was just wondering, is there any talk? or
Was
do
there
I have
any
to write this
discussion on the
down?
TPA with the
No.
budget?
There was not.
Any discussion at the city level on dog park?
No, I think the last time we had anything
I
was
think
more
Dean
that
is
survey.
too hesitant about it as well.
Yeah. They had it on the survey. I think there was a couple people that wanted it. We did
Oh,
the
yeah.
survey. But that's kind of where it ended. There'd have to be a whole set of rules and stuff. Dan's not like thinking it's
Maybe
gonna
this-
be.
Well, I know that, like, when I talk to them, 'cause I live right there. And they walk their dogs constantly. I see people and I talk to them, I give them dog biscuits, I talk to them. And when they have gatherings, they always say, what would you think about it? And they're all like, you know, that'd be awesome. Because they usually go to Wasso or they go to the basketball court or the,
Tennis court.
yeah, they go inside there and then people complain because they poop all
Sure.
over in there, but they don't clean up. And everything like this, and I was like, and they're like, we have to go to Wasso to walk our dogs. And they have nowhere, and that's why I said, well, I'll look into it. A lot of people think it's strange because I have 6 cats, but I still love seeing the dogs get out.
Yeah, sure.
So I was just wondering if there's anything. But I don't know the process of what we have to do. Do I have to talk to the council to see if there is something like that? But they say, check out the DDA because they do the grounds and.
What would probably first would have to be the city because it would be on city property.
Yes,
So they would use city
Mhm.
owned property to do it. And then, they'll go from there as far as what we want to do. We have to have a rule, we have to
Mhm.
find out if we special license, insurance, all that kind of stuff. The DDA would probably be last if they needed help and if it was in the DDA district.
well, that's what I was wondering. I knew we had a lot of vans and
Yeah,
things and I just said like
most
that.
likely it would be out of the DDA district. I would think. They would pick up property outside the city limits. Of what I'm thinking of property, I think it would be the outside of the DDA.
Okay. I just didn't know what's the whole process of trying to
Yeah.
get something started. Because when I talk to the people, they're like, yeah, love that because when they go to Wasso or they go to. And they say, well, they kicked me out of the thing because the dogs
Yeah.
go to bed. And they said, people don't like that. And I said, well, there's nowhere that they go. So they have to walk all the way around and walk, keep walking. And I said, they said they would love to have that because then the dogs can intermingle.
Right.
Seems by that car wash where we were gonna put that truck. The food trucks. Seems like
The green space.
a decent spot for a little one.
I don't know what all people do when they plan on it because they're loud and, I mean, you know what I mean? There's a
Yeah,
lot
yeah.
going on. I'm not sure, like Owasso's is way out of town. It's like one of the last things you see on the outside of,
That's
I'm
why I
not
thought
sure.
That's what
I don't know.
I think.
That's what I'm saying. I think they're,
So people like, I have to, they go here and they have to go
Yeah.
all the way out there. And I said, well, that kind of stuff.
but I'm not really sure like what the planning process,
know.
behind-
Right, I'm
what the
sure
thought
it's-
process is, but I'm guessing some of it's like, how many people walk by, you know? Who cleans it up? Does it stink?
That's what I'm saying. I
Like, is
know
it loud?
Wasso,
I
they
have no idea.
have their rules.
Yeah,
And they say like they have benches and they say, you can do this, but you have to clean up after your dog.
Right.
You have to do this. And there's people that they have one person that maintains.
Community volunteer.
yeah, no,
I
no.
wouldn't mind doing that. I
don't
wouldn't
think it's a
mind, but-
DDA decision.
No, I think-
it's, it's
Search what
certainly.
we're in the district for sure, and that was the place that was looking for it to be planned on, then we would be more involved, but I think your first step would be city council and encouraging the people who are walking by, hoping and wishing that they approach them as well.
Yeah, well, that's what I told them. I
Yeah.
said, if you really want to talk about it, come to a couple of council
Yep.
meetings.
Yep.
Stand up, say
Sure.
stuff. If we get enough people, you
If
can
you get
get
enough
this.
Yep,
people,
you're
yeah,
right.
if you get enough people, let me know and I'll put it on the agenda. So then you'll have, you know, if you get a group that want to come in and talk about it.
Okay.
Then I can put you on the agenda and you're not just limited to the 3 minutes, like that you're supposed to have.
Because I was looking at other people, because like the animal hospital, I was talking to Dr. Shinsky. He said you could talk to that because he does the same thing. And he says that and you get cross reference with like Solins and they
Yeah.
volunteer.
I would call around. You might even try that too, and just call around different places that have them and find out, so you have some basis, an idea.
That's why I know the guy that does.
Yeah. I think
The
that's perfect.
Owasso one, so.
Thanks for the suggestion. I
Thank
like it. Alrighty, treasurer's report.
Alright, so. Our running total, our current balance is, 157,196.18. I also have by category and then, a report of our budget versus spend. And so this is actually our fiscal year end. For the budget versus spend and where we ended. So, next month would be a new, against our new budget.
Are we not doing that sign?
No, we have it on hold.
It's on hold.
Until the parking.
It's figured out.
Right,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Figured out.
Yeah.
That's what we call it.
I'm just bringing gravel, all good.
yeah. Well, there was complications with that parking lot, and so then the sign, we did decide to just put that back into the budget, yep. Any questions about the year end?
Motion to approve, anybody?
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Alright. Any other discussion on that? Okay, motion approved. New business, community marketing strategies, that was that big.
Yes, so
Big
I gave you
package in
guys
there.
all a copy of it. The city council and planning commission have all looked at it. It's good.
Most of it.
If there's anything, the council looking at it again. With any suggestions of things that you want to take away from it, what you think was important. They may want to change some things, but
Did they discuss like what it was they were wanting to change, like? They want the mirror, like suggestions to be different, or?
Oh, thank you.
I think they originally kind of misunderstood what it was.
Yeah, cause this seems very subjective. This is,
Yeah, I mean,
it's
that's
one person's opinion
Right,
of
which
what
is-
they see.
Right, which is, you know, what it is, but that's. what it
Right.
is. It's-
And they assumed it to be more of like a plan,
Well, yeah, and so we're supposed to take that and.
Build
you know
on
what, yes, yeah.
like this is where you're lacking, come up with ideas to make it better.
Right.
Or this is what you're doing great,
Right.
leave this alone for.
Yeah, they originally wanted to change when they kind of tried to explain that that's really not what we need to do. That's what they did. They told us what they thought. So now we need to take that and look at it, and see where we want to improve in the spots that they think we have. We've already added an Instagram page and LinkedIn, which correct, but.
So
Um,
if you haven't had a chance to look through it, it is a perspective and a subjective piece on what the city is doing now. To market, the city, touches a little bit on events, but it's mostly about, businesses, families, housing, a tiny bit of housing that sort of seems to fall in here a little bit.
Yeah.
Some standards that they think that the city should follow. And then where it lacks. So there was a
Yeah.
thing on social media saying be more consistent.
Yeah.
Like post more, that there's no social media plan, post more, engage more, get yourself an Instagram, get a LinkedIn. Like, it was very, it was, a lot of it had to do with the website, like
Yeah.
what they'd like to see on the website. Links that didn't make sense. I mean, it's.
You know, having a
kind-
brand,
Yep.
you know, the whole logo and all
Yep.
that stuff, yeah.
So. It didn't really have it was more just like someone looked over everything and then came back with what they took away from it. That might help market the city.
This is the group that we met with at
Yeah.
the fire hall.
Yeah. Yeah, they just kind of put it all in a package.
And what's our action, do we have an action or
No.
are we?
No, this is, I mean, you guys help pay for this.
Yep.
But the council is going to revisit it and maybe talk about things that they wanna promote or do or
Okay.
take
Well,
their
and they should
suggestions.
Be directing who's doing what, what their
Yeah.
expectation is, and
Right.
otherwise, we all
Yeah.
know how that works.
Yeah. So yeah, there's no motion for you guys. It's just a copy for you. to
Okay.
have.
I do know that there is something in there that will get changed. The chamber does not really do a whole lot over here. And the LPCA does a lot more than what our chamber does. And we feel that we should be a part of that in that packet.
Yeah, there was a section about relationships that can be made and
Yeah.
something like the DNR and.
I just feel that it kind of puts us in a bad situation. And I don't want it to be like, because there is a separation between the DDA and LBCA. And we really like to kind of work together, where we feel that it's not, there's some things that are not coming together. So we feel that we should be a part of this marketing material. And if we can't be, then that's just gonna put a bad taste in a lot of people.
Well, I don't know if they're suggesting that you're not part of it because they weren't.
No, it's just, I
It
think
just listed the things that are outside of the city that do promote.
Yeah.
And there are really, I mean, you guys are considered in the city where you're
Right.
part of the city. So I think those two things were things that were kind of,
you're thinking like in this section,
yeah,
Yes,
that along with the DDA and Economic Development Partnership and Chamber of Commerce, that.
but I honestly
That's
feel that the
listed too.
chamber shouldn't even be a part of it, because honestly, I mean, have they ever, they don't.
well, we.
They
do
have started
ever-
sponsoring over here a little bit, but not as like they have been.
She's been to a meeting before.
She's been here.
Yeah, and
multiple
we
times.
do advertise with the chambers, like we have a, you know, they have the big calendar and we,
Right,
you know, are on that. So there are things that we do that's, you know,
right.
outside and within the chamber. I don't know if it's really suggesting that whoever's not on there is not.
No, I don't think it's all inclusive. I don't think it alludes
It's
to
just-
that, but I
it's just-
definitely think if someone's requesting to be a part of it, that's really a strong
Right.
partnership, that they absolutely should be listed on there. That
Yeah,
makes-
and
seems
I,
like
you
it
know, and
makes
I don't know if
perfect
the marketing group ever even talked to the.
They did.
Did
They
they?
did,
And-
yeah.
I think that one. And right, add them if it makes you feel validated in that because it's important, but. One, I think that the people that they were trying to list was to build a partnership with. Instead of existing ones, so like reaching out to the chamber so that
they're doing.
we have a more of a relationship and can take advantage of their resources. And additionally, like kind of like Kim said, they are all just suggestions, so it is, yeah, not supposed to be excluding anyone by any means, and
Right.
right, and easy edit can be made if people see fit, but I think their purpose is to promote things that we're not doing right now as ideas instead of.
in a really nice way. So they're
Yeah.
telling you all the things you're doing right, and then they're
Right.
saying, this is where you need help.
Yeah, right.
That's really what it seemed like. Someone wrote a really nice thing about
Yes.
everything they saw,
Yeah.
and then all the little nice ways of saying, you have no
could work on this.
consistency, your logo's too
Yeah.
small,
Yeah.
you use too many text, forms of text, like,
Yeah.
that's really what it was. But you're right. I think if someone comes along and that seems like a valid addition to the marketing plan, then makes perfect sense. Okay,
I do know that there is no, there, I will say for Laingsburg, there is really nothing out there for YouTube. I will tell you that the school uses it quite a bit. And I will tell you that since we did the music video and got 31, if you can say 31 businesses and organizations, that is impressive.
Oh,
We
yeah,
were
that's
only
great.
thinking 15 that we were only gonna get. So 31 all joined in. And that video is out there. It is all over.
And I'll tell you something from like the standpoint of YouTube and Instagram and all of that, the management of it from like a municipality standpoint is. How do you post? What do you post? Who posts? Is it okay? Who approves it?
Yeah.
Like, there's
It is
huge,
true.
because as soon as Kim decides this is a really great piece of information and then she posts something and it isn't what everyone else wants, then Kim becomes the
And
issue.
that is the
And-
issue,
and-
promoting anybody in the town, like, you know, any business.
Anything.
It's hard.
Literally
because
anything.
It's like, okay, if we do that, then we gotta make sure we're on everybody else's.
Right.
And
Which is
so we just
It's
kind of
just-
refrain from doing
Because
it
you
at
also
all.
set like a standard of expectation, so as soon as you post something and the next month you don't.
Yeah.
And people have gotten used to it, but say Kim's on vacation and that didn't get posted or whatever the case is, then it looks like immediately on social media, people think municipalities are hiding something.
Right.
So there's so many standards to it, and then you need a backup plan, you need the loss of another super helpful person in this whole puzzle of things that. And a lot of it seems very geared towards a large city, so that it's a cookie cutter of this is a marketing plan and this is what you can do better, but that doesn't necessarily mean you can apply it.
Right.
So I think
And it
that's
is-
part of it.
It
too.
is time consuming to, you know, think, oh, I gotta post something on Facebook. And then you gotta send it to the community page, because nobody will see it if it's just on our page. And then I gotta post it every 2 hours because it won't go in the algorithm. It's
Exactly.
not posted every 2 hours. Yeah, I forget that during the day.
Yeah.
It is a
Then I can
lot.
make sure
It is.
somebody else
It is a
posted
lot.
something.
That's
and I
why
didn't
people
see
have
it.
like a marketing person to
Yeah.
handle all that.
Yeah.
right? But,
And trying to get all the text, my gov stuff out too.
It's a lot. It's a lot. I know where you're going. I know where you're going. It's not easy.
item
Not
number
easy.
4, final goals and vision.
Yeah, last month, the board chose 5 goals and a vision statement, but they wanted to combine a few goals into like one statement and change a couple things about, the vision statement that I had pre-made to bring to the board. And these are all of the edits. I'm trying to remember, decrease vacancies in the district. That was just a goal that was chosen specifically. Implement the community marketing strategy, current market data and community input to promote and advertise downtown Laingsburg and local businesses. That was a combination of 2 goals, I believe, implementing the new strategy that you guys just looked at, while also looking at, market data and community input, because I think Dar was interested more in the data and then adding the plan. 3, expand beautification efforts to enhance a sense of place. That one was just right how it was, and they liked it last month. Diversify funding for the organization, the same, that's just how it was. And then the last one, we combined, it to include board, staff, and volunteers instead of keeping, like hired personnel and volunteer and board members separately in developing retention and recruitment programs. So I'm happy to make any changes if you see an issue in any of them, but I think that these were, like I said, the suggestions from last week.
That's happening. That's good. Just so you know.
Any comments on this? Thoughts, changes? Like it because you wanted to get this.
Yeah, it's a part of, the application, and I've just been trying to fill out as much of the application as I can before I leave, so when you all decide you're comfortable moving forward, a lot of it is done.
All right, communication plan.
I summarize the July events, and what I thought that the DDA, would find important. So in the city council meeting, they approved the marketing strategy that Kim provided for you today. They're working to reestablish a park and rec committee. Your budget was approved, and then the pocket park was also approved by council. The library meeting, or relevant items, because I guess I didn't go to the library meeting, but Laingsburg hosted the first art walk, during Summerfest, which was this past weekend. And that was a fundraiser for the library. They had 30 spots, and I believe there was 31 artists plus 5 kids, so they were really happy with the turnout of artists. And quite a few of them had vendors in the park I walked through, I'm trying to remember how many vendors there were. I'd say probably 6 to 7 art vendors that were selling their art. I thought it was super cool idea that brings a different audience to Laingsburg than might typically come to like the Summerfest. They got grants from Shiawassee Visitors Bureau and the Cook Family Foundation out of Owasso to help with the prizes, so the artists who won got monetary prizes, which was cool. I'm not sure how successful it was at giving money to the library, because we only charged $5 for the artist to come, which is not very much money, but they wanted to make sure that it was accessible to people this first year. And I haven't talked with Gail, so I'm not sure how much was fully raised for the library, hopefully a couple $100, anything else, but I know moving
She's right there.
forward. Oh.
The volleyball is also.
Oh, I forgot that the volleyball got changed to the library. So,
Yeah.
no, it's
I'm so sorry. The party's at 6:30.
Right.
I got here already.
The party.
All right.
Do you want me to ask any questions about Summerfest?
You're right.
Is that what
You're right,
we're at?
party, you're right.
I
party
was just
time.
talking about the art walk, so perfect timing if you want to chip in.
Yeah, we had 34 artists. There was 23 of them putting around the city. So 3 of them were up at Darien, Wilson Grounds and Sage Market. There was 2 exhibits. There was a kids area down at Connect, so that that was cool to have kids area as well. We just, if I look tired, we've been telling you just that, yeah. But we had a wide variety of mediums, and I definitely think that we brought a lot of people to the city that would not normally come to our city from other cities. Or when I was talking to people, we were bringing other artists, actually looking at what we had here. And for a first year, I feel like we did really good. Do I wish we would have raised more money for the library? Absolutely. I'm still making the plug, and we're still getting people dropping off money, because ultimately we want to bring art to our kids here in Laingsburg. So I feel like there was lots of goals on the art thing, as far as getting people around our city and seeing all our beautiful buildings and the people and that sort of thing. But my ultimate goal, unfortunately, they say it's not about the money, but it is in this case, it's about the money too. So hopefully that'll keep trickling in, so.
So they paid $5 for a spot, and you could make a donation and you could purchase the artwork. Is that the way I understood it as a little
So
thing?
we actually did it quite interestingly, and what it was is $5 is all we charged, so we didn't raise a lot of money for the artists. But the reason we left it so low was because we needed enough good artists and we wanted to get them in. Some people, pieces were just for exhibit, and some of them were for sale. So it's up for them to tell us, and we designed these little art sheets that basically told who the artist was, how to get a hold of them. Oh, well, Olivia knows. She had QR codes. It pushed them to their Facebook pages and to their websites. And we tried to also link up if they had a vendor booth, that their artist number was 5 and their vendor booth was 5. So if you liked that one piece, and you could go see other pieces. There's definitely some hiccups that we had, and we are going to have a recap and redo. And I know there's some things that definitely, we need to revisit. But ultimately, I was extremely happy. But it was a lot of work that I got to figure out how to streamline.
We are.
Do you guys think you're gonna do it for Winterfest?
For Winterfest?
Our walk might not be the, probably.
Have it like the downtown area
Yeah.
between,
Yeah,
or
it's a
something like
good
that.
idea.
It's on.
It's gonna be today.
I was gonna say,
It's
it's
Wednesday. I'm gonna do that. But that is a great idea.
It is.
I'm not gonna tell you how many hours I spent getting, because we got the application and then realized, oh, we didn't ask them if they wanna sell it. And then I had to go back to them. And then we thought, oh, it'd be nice to make these little lists. I'm gonna go back to them. And then I have to drop them off. And then I gotta work with all the 23 businesses to get them in there. It was more than, so it's like, ask me maybe in a month. or two.
It's like having a baby, you know,
Yeah.
forget about it.
It kind of like kept growing and growing and growing. But you are right. I mean, most generally, anything for Summerfest that Gail and I did, if we pass the bucket, we try to make it go for the library.
Yeah.
Because that was our ultimate goal, is we want to make sure that the library is getting, we need to help them get out of the red.
Yeah.
So we're trying to help them as much as we can.
If we can jump to old business, I was assigned to go to a library board meeting and they think the DDA has all kinds of money.
No, we aren't sharing.
And we should give it to them instead of putting it in a pocket park. We should give them money to the library. And they had their budget and they took like $4,000 off that they didn't need to spend, but then they found 20,000 they didn't have in the budget. So they're definitely in the red still. And I think we should get LED lights for our Christmas displays. And get lights so we can put up year round. And that was the exciting library board meeting.
Thank you for going.
I just have to, I'm sorry, can I say one more thing? This was put on by the library board, and they have such a strong group of women that have young kids, and the number of more kids that we have coming, and the number of events we have, we've got to show up some love. We do. I don't expect the DDA to give them, so I don't know where that came from, but they
I
have
think
earned-
that the
they have
line is
absolutely
blurred
earned my
between
respect.
us and the city and whatever, you know what I mean, where that money comes from. I think
Yes.
it's just a really blurry line for a lot of people.
Yes, yes, but they have earned my respect, and if I hear anybody saying one thing bad about the library, I'm gonna say, I know, I stay up there and see what happens and what the kids come in, that library is of our city.
Thanks, Gail. August, we're on the needs for August.
Yes, and one thing too that I wanted to update that I forgot to put on here, but Kim, Amanda and I met with Lee from Main Street a few weeks ago. To try to ease the transition of me leaving and Kim, taking on being the main person in the office. And I've created a spreadsheet for Kim, so hopefully it'll be fairly easy, but I'm happy to send it to anyone who wants the information.
Lee and I are gonna get to know each other really
Yeah,
well.
Lee's great, she's good to work with, but so yeah, we talked about next step, and she plans on coming to a later DDA meeting to talk with you all, and we mentioned that we're gonna have quite a few new board members, so talking with the new board members and getting them up to speed on what the Main Street initiative is and what we're trying to work towards, so. And then for August, I have more flyers. If someone is able to attend the LBCA meeting on August 7th, it's at 7:45 in the morning. And then I will send out a digital newsletter to, I believe on our calendar, it's property and business owners. I also printed off some hard copies if folks are just talking with your neighbor and want to pass on the information of what the DDA is trying to do.
How was our coverage before when we split those? What did we do last month? Since I wasn't here with like flyers. or
Flyers.
whatever? Did
I
we
think
all split them
everyone-
up?
I
Hey,
think
everybody
I love
took
this split up
things.
idea.
Yeah.
I mean, we all might run into different people. We might just.
Well, some
know
of
the
these.
guy
yes,
across the
we
street, but-
were telling them.
Yeah.
Just hand them out.
You
I've
just-
read
To other businesses.
Yeah, or whomever you bump
I'll
into,
take one.
or like we all usually have a mission of
Or
where
I can
one
take
person at least we're gonna head to with it.
You're
So
one
I
of
can
my
put
spots.
What?
You're one of my.
What are you doing? So there are
So I
two,
just hang this up in my window?
yeah, there's
You
two
can put one in
pages
your
of
window and you
pages.
can give one away. You
These are
know,
two okay.
Like,
If
yeah,
you-
there are just one, cause they are had many,
Oh.
so it's just 2 pages, but the same flyer.
Except the
Okay.
American Legion's not having breakfast. It's in the
Till
summer.
September 8th.
They start again after Labor Day. We crossed it out last month.
Oh,
our flyer,
bummer.
So,
I'll give you an extra one to pass.
Cross that one
Okay,
out.
yeah.
cross it out, cross it out.
Thank you.
There's not a
wanna-
breakfast
The
apparently.
breakfast isn't until September 8th.
I can run one in 12 years.
Okay, who's doing that going forward?
Flyers.
The flyer? Okay, if you wanna send it to me, I do know some of that stuff. And
Okay.
at least I could give you a heads up if I knew something that wasn't.
Okay, yeah,
Before you send it.
yep,
This will be
Read it.
so much easier next year too, because you'll kind of have a guide.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
Like,
But I
Yeah.
fix it and
Always
send
good
it
to have
to
that
you.
guide.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to come out with the fresh.
burger nights are still a thing, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
but it's in the dugout. It's not upstairs. You gotta
Yep.
go down.
And then here's also a couple of newsletters if you just run in to folks to pass on some of the current events that are happening, downtown. And like I said, I'll send a digital file to all the contacts that I have as well.
If you get that changed to me, Olivia, we can get it down in the board.
Perfect, will do.
Is that it for?
Yep.
That,
Do we need to go back to the goals? Do we have to approve this and to be completed?
motion?
Did we approve it with changes? Or?
I think.
Actually,
I wasn't-
actually.
when we were doing all these little sections before, I don't remember if we did it, let's just do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't hurt to.
Yeah.
Approve it again.
And then if you don't do
Yeah.
that, so we're moving back to item number 4. Which was the section with goals identified by the board, the 5 goals that Olivia reverbed for us from last month. We think we might need motion and support on that, so we're just gonna go ahead and do it, and cover our bases, so we're not behind. and
I'll
looking
make
at
a
it.
motion that we accept this as written. The goals identified, the vision and the mission.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Well, all in support?
Aye.
Any discussion? Great, motion passes. All right, so moving on. DDA applications.
We got 2 of them. Which will go to the council to be approved.
All right, so you have 2 applications to review, John Liskey and Mike Putnam. So. We're doing one at a time, I guess, and. If there's a motion and support for either one of them to start, and then we'll send those over to the city council.
So we're doing one at a time. We
I
have list
think,
case. We
like,
have to
yep.
make the motion.
John Liskey,
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
all right, we have a motion and support. Any discussion? No? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Who was support? I'm sorry, I'm not doing minutes. Trying to do it all.
Who supported Roseanne?
I'm
I
trying to do
support it.
minutes at the same
Yeah.
time.
Aaron.
To do those.
And I support.
Doing. All right, motion carried for John Liskey. Mike Putnam,
I'll make a motion.
Second.
motion and second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
May I ask a question? How many positions does that leave?
Uh,
That fill all?
One, I
Yeah.
believe. Which is another thing I didn't put on the agenda, but. After talking to, well, we both talked to, we, I was gonna say Leanne, but we about, having the extra. People that are not in don't fit the quota of what, she highly suggested, I think, to cause we'll have committees and stuff, now that you guys are gonna be doing more revenue type things. Having committees and having people like that join the board and, you know, whether they, I mean, I guess it's up to you guys whether you want to have them be voting members or you want them to be committee members. The majority of the board has to be business, but you can have up to 12 people on your board. So if you wanted to go with 8 that are all, and then the rest of them, you know, it's kind of up to you. It's just,
Her suggestion also by saying that was if you had a member or 2 members or whatever that weren't that didn't own or reside in the DDA district, then fine, that really is a moot point, but she said those people generally come with a lot of energy. They come with an outside vision of what's going on. They bring different ideas possibly from other areas or school districts or whatever it might be, and that you might utilize their energy more so on a committee than you would on the board. So where we all feel like we're a lot of times pulling a lot of the weight or continuously the same people asked over and over from a business aspect, you might be able to bring them in and utilize that energy for something that we're like trying to get going. So that was another idea behind it too. But we have enough for a quorum. What are our rules on a vacancy? Can we carry it? The vacancy for,
yeah, yeah, I mean,
so
we're still trying to get.
I'm going to be applying, but I cannot up to be able to be approved until November. So when do I have?
So what I'm saying, what I'm asking is, can we carry a vacancy? What if
We have to fill it if we get a,
application that qualifies under our current standards, which is you live,
yes. You work, or not work, but own,
own, reside, or
or
whatever.
yeah. Rent.
So right now, we don't have anybody though. That
Mm,
qualifies
right.
under those
No.
rules. So we carry it for another month or 2 until either someone applies.
Yep.
Or we make a change in what the
Well, you're-
vision
yeah, you're
is for the
supposed to Have
members.
8 on your board.
So that would
So-
bring you to, this is July, so it's August, September, then you decide what kind of a position you're in. I mean, the DDA decides what are we, how are we doing without that member? We still don't have any applications to it. No one qualifies. I don't know. But at this point, you either decide that you want to change the requirements of your board members, or you carry the vacancy under your current guidelines.
Well, Mark's still staying on. So you technically have 8.
So like this pending vacancy that
Yes.
eventually is gonna
Yes.
take place.
And then we
But
got,
nobody wants it to.
she's gonna replace it.
Right, so
We don't know that, but I would like to.
so what I'm
So
saying.
we're good because we have the 8.
Right.
You know what I mean, so we don't have to like freak out yet. Or,
No, I
Yeah,
agree.
right.
I
So we got the
think you
8.
carry the vacancy when it occurs until you guys decide what you wanna do, or we decide as a whole what makes sense.
Yep.
Anything else? All right, we'll adjourn this meeting at 6:42.
Cool. I mean, the elephant in the room is there's cookies over there. I'm kind of wondering what those are doing.
Boards on it.